Hello, hello. How are we doing today? Thank you so much for being here very, very bright and early. And I know in Vegas, being bright and early at 8:30 is not something that is easy to do. So thank you so much. My name is Mario Rodriguez, and I'm GitHub's Chief Product Officer. I've been at the company 6 years, but I've been doing tools for software developers for the last 23 years. I'll probably retire doing this. I love what I do for a living. The way that I explain it to my wife and kids is, look, humanity already invented the fire, already invented the wheel. Everything we're going to be doing from this point onward is going to be powered by software. And might as well spend my limited time on Earth actually giving you all amazing software tools for you to continue to advance humanity forward. So thanks again. What I want to do today is kind of show you a little bit of the platform, and we're going to reserve time at the end for Q&A. A lot of these things, especially in these little rooms, it's not a keynote like the one going on right now with thousands and thousands, 60,000 people watching it. I actually like to spend time with you and taking your questions. So as you go and see some of the presentation, if you have a question, write it down, and then we'll have time at the end, around 20 to 25 minutes, to actually have a dialogue. It could be about Copilot, it could be about anything that is within the platform and security and action, so anything will be fair game overall. So again, thank you. For those of you that do not know what GitHub is, actually, how many of you have a GitHub account? Who does not have a GitHub account? So I sit down with you later and actually do it together. Okay, perfect. And so we are the home of all developers. If you really think about that, like that home is something that we really care about. It's a place you feel safe. It's a place you feel connected. It's a place where you have fun, but you also relax. As well. So that's who we are. We're the home of all developers. And over the last 6 years, we've been growing that platform. If you really think about it, in 2018, GitHub was known mainly for two things, right? For having the being the home of the open source community and having the best version control system out there. But over the last 6 years, we've been evolving that platform. And that evolution has allowed us to actually grow, not only in that open source community, but also in the top global 2000, and actually in the Fortune 100 as well. So we have over 100 million developers. We have 90% of the Fortune 100 companies. And I think over 120 million repositories have been created on this beautiful platform. And this cannot be done without you. It's not only open source communities, it's small business as well, it's students, it's people in research, it's a variety of humans collaborating. Software development is humanity's biggest team sport, and we're very proud to giving you these tools. So like I was saying, one of the key things that we've been trying to do is focus on that developer experience and start expanding it from that 2018 product. And what we have done is growing it into an end-to-end developer platform that goes with you from idea all the way to production. So how did we do that? In 2019, as an example, we added Actions, and Actions became our CI/CD product. We also went and purchased two companies, Dependabot and Semel. Those two companies became our GitHub Advanced Security. We started collaborating very closely with OpenAI, and that product became GitHub Copilot. We also invested in code spaces. We invested in enterprise rule sets. We invested a lot more in making sure that we could expand and scale to all of our customers overall. So that's what you see here, a single integrated enterprise-grade platform with industry-leading collaboration tools, security at every step, and of course, powered by this little product called Copilot. Now, as I think about Copilot and the evolution of where we're going, one thing is, I was reflecting this with the team recently, probably in the last, 8 to 9 weeks. And I was thinking, okay, we got a really good product right now, and it assists you in code completion. We also have chat, so you can have a conversation with it, and that natural language is really important to us. But we have to go deeper, team. We have to really focus on the core scenarios that developers are hiring Copilot for, that are hiring the GitHub platform for. And these are the things, like if you ask me, Mario, where are you going to be putting the majority of your focus going forward? It's making sure that these experiences are great on the platform, that these experiences are great in the IDE, that these experiences are actually also great in your phone, because not all of us, if you think about, if you travel a lot, you'll know that not everyone has a computer. We're very privileged to have these amazing, Windows and Apple laptops that we carry around, but in the world, that's not a true statement. So if you actually want to go and grow development in multiple areas around the globe, you have to be available on the phone too, and you have to provide an ability to not only learn, but also code on that phone overall. So these experiences is one of the key things that we're going to be focused on. And the second thing that I want to talk about then is Workspace. Workspace is a product that is in technical preview. It came from our GitHub Next team. And for those of you that do not know GitHub Next, they're the ones who created Copilot and many other things at GitHub. It's kind of our incubation team, if you want to think about it that way. And they created Workspace as a way for us to explore what would it take to innovate in what we call an AI native experience. Like a lot of the things that we're doing right now is kind of bolting AI from the side. What would it take if you actually go and say, you know what, it all starts with natural language, and it all starts with Copilot or AI assisting you in what you're trying to do. And that's what Workspace is trying to do, and it's going to be powered by agents. Again, if you go back into the other slide that we had, and if I could press the button, all of these things can be agents, right? And an agent is just a fancy word right now for a workflow, in my opinion, that has some AI on it and could be done autonomously. We have had workflows forever in our industry. Agents just means that it could be done autonomously and it has some AI on it. So Workspace is going to have all of these agents that are going to help you in those experiences as well. And instead of me talking to you, since a lot of us are developers or maybe even actually decision makers, what I wanted to do was kind of show you the product. Okay, so this is Workspace for you to start a session. And I'm just going to choose a repository. And since we're in AWS, I'm going to do AWS CLI. Make sure that internet is here. So I'm just going to choose the AWS CLI. And I'm going to choose brainstorm. Nothing like, I could go and say, hey, I have a task that I want to do against that repo. But one of the key things, whenever, as a developer, I'm going to make a change, I first have to understand the code base. What is this code base about? Where is the place that I actually need to make that change? So I'm just going to choose brainstorm. And what we're doing right now is that we're scanning the repository, we're indexing it, and then we're coming up with a set of questions for you to brainstorm about this repo. This is a real-life repo. This is an AWS CLI. It's a public repo, so it's very easy to do any demo on it. So, I could go and get an overview of the repository. Let's say I'm a beginner developer, and I just want to understand what this repo is about. So if I click on that, I can see the repository provides a command. Are you able to see it all the way in the back, or you want me to do more soon? You're good? OK. So the repository provides a unified command line interface. I could see that it contains various configurations files overall. And maybe what I want to do is say, where are the commands for SageMaker? And again, I'm just kind of in discovery mode, right? Like, what is an AI native way of actually being discovery mode with a repository? That's what we're trying to do here. So I just ask it a simple question. The command for SageMaker can be found in the following files. Perfect. So there's a Python file for that. And I can see it has a set of tests as well. And maybe I want to then do something else. Let's see, how can the repository be improved? Maybe let's go and click on that and see what it tells us. So here's a few ideas on how the repository can be improved. Maybe we could actually send this to the AWS engineers. So some improved documentation that we could add. We could do enhanced testing. Or we could optimize performance. I have never seen this one. So this is a real-life demo, by the way. Like, there's nothing here that is scripted. So review and optimize performance of crucial code paths. So maybe let's add this as a task. So I could just go over here in Workspace, add it as a task, and then it adds this brainstorm over here, optimize performance. And I just can ask it to generate code. It could also generate a plan. So maybe let's do the plan first before we do the code. So what it's going to do right now is going to go and take that natural language, which is, hey, this is, the improvement to the performance of the CLI. And then it's going to go and figure out where are the files that it should actually go. And as you can see over here, it's reading the file cache. It's going to take a second to do that because it has to find the right files across everything. And then it's going to tell me, well, you could add a caching mechanism to store the results of plugin imports and reuse them. You could add a profile that could to identify performance bottlenecks, or you could add a caching mechanism to resolve the schema. Actually, that's what I want to do. I don't want to do the plugin. I want to do the schema. And I just want to see what is the code that ends up creating. That one actually probably is useful, by the way. Profile the code to identify. And now what it's going to do, it's going to go and inspect that, and it's going to make the changes. Sometimes it could make it multiple files. I could have chosen both of them, and it would have done that for me. In this case, it's a very simple change. And let's see how long it takes us to do that. Really quick. Many times as we're doing this, we're also making the change and trying to see, and sometimes we run the test and try to see if it compiles or not, and then at the end, we make the final edits to the file. So as you can feel, the file is not that big. It's 174 lines, so this should go rather quickly. If not, I would have pre-cached it for you, but I wanted to do a live demo so you can see that nothing over here is fake. And I think we're almost there. And there you go. Actually, only 8 changes in the diff. And then I could just go over here. Whoops. The demo gas did not help me, I think. Latest changes. Come on, you could do it. OK, well, really, it's saving. Maybe let's have it done it again. Let's do it again. And then we'll go to another demo really quick. I'm going to update selected. I don't know if I lost internet or not. And then I'm going to have it redone. So we could actually do this. Let me go back. We could actually do this in other repos as well. So I have over here, if you know about TanStack and query, I could just go over here, go to Copilot, and I could start a task. And the same thing, I could brainstorm. And again, all this is live demos. And I could have it go and suggest a set of questions, and then give me those, and then start interacting with our TanStack query in real time. I think, OK, there you go. So now I'm going back into the suggestions that we did before. As you can see in the plugin, it added a cache value over here. I'm back into the AWS CLI repo, OK? And then over here, if I go down into it, then I could see also in my plugin where the cache is being used. And in the schema, which is the one that we had before, this is in technical preview, so we probably had a bug on it. I could see that I'm usually actually on LRU cache, the max size, and then being able to then retrieve it from the schema as well. So this is kind of one way. From here, by the way, I could also create a pull request and give that to the AWS team. I'm not going to do that today, because I probably want to review that code a little bit more. But it's a seamless way for you to go learn about a repository, ask it a set of questions, and then get to a PR or bug fix overall. So if we go back now into TanStack, you can see over here, same thing. Can you provide general review of this repository? What are the main features of TanStack query? So you could ask it this question, and then start understanding not only what the repo is about, but what are the actual feature set that it provides you overall. So for us, this is something like a brand new way of understanding code and interacting with the code. And not only that, let's say you, again, a beginner developer, you could learn more about effective state management in web applications and kind of choose your own advantage overall. All right, so then now let's go to a different place in here. So I have this travel app, and I could do the same in the travel app. So I could go to Copilot, start a task really quick. I could brainstorm. And not only that, I could also open a code space on it. Code space for us is just a web environment. Think about it as your box, as your dev box in the cloud. So it's what we call a cloud development environment. So by doing that, then I could actually interact with that application, make changes in real time, and then see what and then see those without having to clone it into my local repository, figure out all of the dependencies and all of the things that sometimes takes a fair amount of service. So same thing over here. I could provide an overview of the repository, and then it will go in and then tell me a little bit. In this case, this is a very, very simple TypeScript application. And then it uses things like launch darkly for us to be able to have feature flags on it, et cetera, et cetera. And it gives me a little bit more about what the main page is and see if the actual code space is going to be. So let's open the code space. Now you're in that cloud development environment. Again, we're an end-to-end platform for you. I don't have to copy this locally. And it's actually in sync with the workspace, and we're going to see that in a second as well. So I have my terminal. Let's just do npm install. And I know that's very hard for you to see in the back. OK, and then let's do really quick. We don't need Copilot right now. npm run dev. And now I have my application running. And let's open this in the browser really quick. There's my forwarded port. And this should take a second. Overall. Yep, OK. I think the internet sometimes is not in our favor. OK, perfect. And this is a very beautiful Copilot Airways. I have a way to have a round trip and find my trip. But most importantly, I also have a profile. So let me go and warm that cache in a second. But one of the things that I wanted to show you is in that profile, you're going to see something like, hey, how many points I have had it on all of the trips that I have gone through, as you can see. And you can see over here that I am status, what is it, gold. So I just want to understand how that is calculated. Like, I may be a new developer in this application, and I want to make a change to that gold status or how it is calculated. So, and for you to see, want to get special offers. So if I go back over here into my code, and I go to my footer, let's search for footer for a second. In footer.tx, and if we open that, as an example in the footer, we could actually change anything in here. Instead of want to get special offers, let's say, hello, reinvent. And then if I just Control S and save that, you're going to see that in the application that just changed to hello, reinvent. So again, this is real code. Live demo. I just want to make sure to prove that to you. Now, I could go back into that workspace. This is the workspace that we were at. And I could ask it really quick then in Brainstorm, where is gold status defined? And as you can see, what it's telling me is the current getStatus method is over here, in points activity service, returns the string gold as the current status. The method is used in the home. So, but if I actually go there, what I'm going to see at the end is that this is hard-coded. Like, this is actually not something that is being calculated today. And maybe what I want to do then is describe a task and say, it seems that in the method called getCurrentStatus, gold status is being hard-coded. We should make it dynamic and based on what? On milestones? Let's do that. And then I could just ask it to then brainstorm how to do that. And not only, now what I could do is figure out, OK, how would this agent implement that? And maybe we'll get it wrong, but if it does get it right, actually, I could be learning about how to make the change and why. So it's telling me, yes, the method currently returns a hard-coded gold status. You could actually do a couple of things in get current gold status and implement it. So let's do that. Let's actually figure it out then, ask that, how to solve this task, and then generate the plan and the code. So let's let it do that. And what it's doing now is queuing it. And what we're supposed to be seeing at the end is that points activity service is supposed to be getting a set of milestones, and you can see it right there, right? And then at the end also, we're supposed to be calculated and based on that and returning it. Actually, it's kind of funny because it's returning bronze if it doesn't do anything else. So it's returning the least one from everything. It's also telling me that I should actually update the README. And to tell me that, hey, you should add that points activity service now. I don't know if I want to go and update the README or not, but if I go now into here, what you're going to see is that these changes are now here. So here's my points activity service with the gold. And if I actually do S, this is now safe. And when I refresh this, then this should be working still. 2,800, and it's still gold. Maybe I want to change then the points. So maybe we'll make gold be 5,000 and this be 7,000 as an example. Now that I have these variables, I'm going to save it. And then if I go here, if everything is right, I'm back at silver. So there you go. So I show you an end-to-end, being able to actually understand the code with Brainstorm, utilize an agent, and make a code change, and then have a one-to-one with that code space. So whatever it is that you are in the world, you could have done this from your phone as well. You could have this experience. So now let's go back overall. Thanks for going with me on that. Only one little thing didn't work, so I'm pretty happy on it. So then if I take that further, what are we going to be doing? Where's our focus then from a development perspective? Well, the first thing is we want to increase your velocity. But velocity itself is not the end goal, right? We also want to increase the quality of that code that is being generated, of what I just showed you in Copilot Workspace. We want to increase the code quality. We want to understand where is it that we could add caches and optimizations. We also are a company that sells a product to enterprises, so governance is very important to us. And then, of course, we want to do all of this with the best developer experience, so dev happiness continues to increase. We're the most loved developer tool, and we want to remain there as well. So one of the things that we're doing for that is we just announced recently Copilot multi-edits. So that is, if you are in VS Code, you're going to be able to select a set of files and then edit them all at once. Today in VS Code, you mainly either have shadow code completion, which just kind of limits you to one file. I show you Workspace, which is a more IDE, forward or native experience. But what about what you end up doing and using every day? So over here is an example. I have a diagnostics file. Don't worry about following the video too much. I have some diagnostic code right there. And I could just open that file really quick. And there is my export. I could also open other places, like this validate, duplicate link. So I'm just kind of building my context right now. Then from that context, I could go into this new Copilot multi-file edits and then ask it, refactor code to separate the scripts and styles. So Copilot is going to go, and just like it did in Workspace, it's going to give me a live diff of that. You can see already it has an index.html file and a script.js file. So it created a new file and started breaking things apart from me. So from that simple prompt, now we could go in, kick off these agents, and be able to generate the code. And I'm pretty happy with this code. So I'm going to go forward. And now what I could do is take this context, it's XML, and then I could also review the code. So not only can I do multiple file edits, on those edits that I have, I could ask Copilot to automatically review it for me. So now you're getting not only that velocity, but also that quality overall. Now, this code review experience also exists in the web as well. So let me go in. In this case, we went in and accepted one, and the other one was not what we wanted, so I discarded that comment, and I'm not going to go and solve it. But the same can happen on the web. So let me just show it to you really quick. So I am over here. This is a pull request, something that you know about. Here's files changed. It's only 9 of them. And perfect. And what I could do is I could actually review this in a code space, or I could also go ahead in the conversation, review these changes in a workspace. So let me show you how to do that. So in here in development, I could just choose open workspace. and it's gonna open that. It's gonna be all of the files that are as part of that PR. But you can see over here a set of suggestions. So this is a suggestion that Copilot made. So we have a code review agent, and right now this is in public preview and available to all of you, that can go in and review the code. So in this case, what it's telling me is the error message should be more descriptive. Yep, that's probably a true statement. It kind of helps me a little bit more on, in this case, change the status code. It should also be a lot more descriptive on what it is. But it could do things that are more complicated too. So as an example, if I go here, you could ask Copilot, you know what, instead of just using numbers, what I want you to do is generate constants overall. So in this case, what it's trying to do is saying, you know, you should not be using magic numbers, and it's going to try to generate a suggestion for you too. So it's not only going to tell you what it thinks that is wrong, but it's also going to tell you how to fix it overall. And you can see all of them. Not only that, I could even do it on one of the reviews by one of my peers. So Tim is telling me this regex doesn't allow uppercase letters, and can you update it to match the comment? And Copilot is going to also generate that. So we have it on the IDE. We also then have it on .com, and then we have it in a way that you could just go in and with one click generate a fix for it. And as you can see over here, for you all that know regexes, I think this looks really good. So I could just hit apply, and then it applies that seamlessly. Let's go back. So you don't have to trust me. You know, we have Stuart from Skyscanner. We've seen significant savings for our organization, and our engineers have even more time to spend on what matters. Humanity is very good at creativity. We want to continue to increase that. Tell us, you know, GitHub Actions saves each developer around 2 hours per week. Once you start putting that with the power of Copilot, you also have Copilot available in Actions to be able to fix issues that happen during your CI build. Then you end up getting this velocity, you end up getting this quality overall. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit more about, we don't spend all the time just coding and reviewing code. There's sometimes other things that we need to do. Like, for example, we have to fix vulnerabilities and we have to fix bugs. And this is something that we're taking very seriously as well. For the most part, the industry, if I really think about it, has been playing this game of finding. So because all the applications are the #1 attack vector, what you see a lot of vendors do currently is finding vulnerabilities for you. But we also know that's not enough. Like, if I give you 20,000 things that you have to fix, then you also are going to be burdened by it. So what we want to do, and we have created this tagline, I think it's pretty catchy, is found means fix. So not only are we going to find it for you, we're going to play a different game altogether of fixing it for you as well. You saw that in code review as an example. But what happens if we not only apply it to code quality, what happens if we also apply it then to the security vulnerabilities? This is in production today. This is GA. This is something that you as a customer of GitHub Advanced Security can utilize. And we built it, and it has been incredible. Like, the reception of this tool, it's been, at least for me in the security space, is one of those things that have given a lot of energy to these customers to be able to get that tech debt down. And not only that, it has improved the happiness of the developers that interact with it as well. Because now, as part of the PR, I just get a Copilot auto-fix, and it's super seamless for me not to create more debt. And not only that, we created another feature that we call security campaigns. And with security campaigns, what we're trying to do is being able to then get you out of all of these other maintenance tasks. So let me just show it to you again really, really quick. So if I go back into this. Oops, give me a second. So here is a security repo, and this is our security overview. In our security overview, what we give you is all of the open alerts over time, what is the age of them, the typical stuff that you will see in a security tool provider. But one of the things that I'm really excited about, again, is these campaigns. The way to create a campaign is actually very easy. I'm not going to go and do it, but you just come over here, select from a template. So imagine we want to do Metro top 10 key. Select it, then give it a name, give it a short description, give it a due date, give it who's the manager of it or who's the responsible, and then do a filter on the actual repositories, and that's it. So I'm going to X out of that because we already have one created, and it's this one. So as you can see, I already have it in progress. It's overdue because I do a lot of demos. But this one, it's interesting because if I go into one of them, this one has 5%. I see all of them. And I also see these PRs. And those PRs are theirs because someone already went through it and then decided that the auto-fix is something that they wanted to apply and automatically did it. So let me then show you this once again. If I go into one of these security vulnerabilities, I see a Copilot auto-fix. So I could go in and say, hey, get everything that is price 0 for my organization, put it in a campaign, and then I could just, by a click of the button, say, have auto-fix fix as many of them as it can. And then when that happens and auto-fix finishes, I get a Copilot auto-fix AI-generated code. It tells me what the problem is. It then gives me the change in the file right there. And as you can see over here, this is valid. I'm just doing a send file. You should never do that. And you should probably sanitize it a little bit more. So you could resolve it through a safe route. It tells me actually what is the tool that found it, and a little bit more even about these type of vulnerabilities as well. So I could even learn. And I just commit to the new branch. That's it. Like that simple is the demo. You create a campaign. You then tell auto-fix to go through each one of the security vulnerabilities. Auto-fix finishes, and then you go into this UX, and then you start creating these PRs directly from it. That's not been seen in the industry of security tools. And we're really, really proud of it. Again, with Copilot auto-fix, what we see is 7 times faster fixes, 12 times faster for SQL injection as well. SQL injections are very easy. We gotten very good at this type of thing, so every time that we give you better tools for that, you use it very effectively overall. Okay, so we talked a little bit about velocity. We talked a little bit about quality. What about governance? Well, if you are an administrator of a GitHub instance or an administrator of an enterprise account, you have to worry about all of these things, and it's a lot. Sometimes I go into these meetings with these administrators, and they're not crying, but they're kind of crying, and sometimes they even want to punch me because they're dealing with so many things that they want us to make it simpler. And I'm here to tell you that we are. This is one of the areas that my team is really, really focused on. And we want to kind of concentrate around a couple of primitives: properties, rule sets, permissions, auditability, and integrity. Things like attestation goes towards that integrity. Properties and rules is the way that you get governance at scale across the platform. So some of the features that we do for that are these: custom property, push rule sets, immutable actions based on that, and then attestation. So if you're a customer or one of these enterprise admins in the room right now, and you haven't played with these features, please do. They're there for you. They're new. We have been doing a lot over the last year, but they're very, very powerful, and they would allow you to actually have governance at scale. Let me, again, show it to you really quick. So if I go over here, and in this case, I'm in Contoso. Contoso is my enterprise, and I have defined a set of custom properties, like application ID. That's a text field. I have, is it in production, meaning is this repo in production or not? And then security tier. And that security tier is a multi-select tier, as an example. So what I could do, I could just go over here. And within a repo that I have, I could go to, let's go to custom properties so you can see them. And I have then those same ones. Some of them I'm inheriting from my enterprise. So this is an organization that is inheriting the application ID, the production, and the security tier from the enterprise. But I also created one called Flavor Factory because we make donuts overall. And then what I could do with this is things like rule sets. So if I go here, I could say, you know what, my rule set name is high security. I'm enforcing this. I'm going to target the repositories in this organization dynamically. And the way that I'm going to target them is this by these props, essentially, right? By the actual metadata. So if the repo set security tier high security, in all branches, we want to restrict updates, restrict deletion, require a pull request before merging, and block forced pushes, as an example. I could also, do things that are a lot more complicated. So if I go into workflow restrictions, as an example, I could even say things like, make sure that never an exe file gets checked in. We've seen a lot of customers get compromised in the repo with some binary that you could end up then running. And then what people do is they figured out a way to run that binary as part of let's say, the fetch or the clone, or as part of some GitOps as well. So many of our customers right now are utilizing these things to make sure that a binary that is not supposed to be in the repo, like an exe file as an example, does not end up being there. And this is the way that they're doing that at scale. So again, if you haven't played with this set of features, please do. Okay. So let's continue. So HashiCorp, they're a developer-first organization. They're an amazing company. They're on GitHub. They've been on GitHub since day one. And for them, this is really important because they have around 2,000 repositories, and they need to actually have governance at scale. I have a customer right now who has 300,000 repositories, if you cannot believe it. I don't know how much code, I cannot even fathom how much code that is for them. But they have 300,000 of them, and without features like this, they cannot advance. Okay, so the other thing that we're also doing in governance is we now have an ability to host your code in GitHub Enterprise Cloud with data residency. So if you're a customer that is in the EU, we now have an instance of GitHub.com in EU that is data resident. And we also announced at GitHub Universe a few months back, or a few weeks back, one in Australia. So we're going to have one in EU, one in Australia, and our hope is continue to go across Asia and then eventually LATAM as well. So data residency in the cloud, so it's not only about hosting your code in the United States, it's being global, right? Like all of us are on this together, and we need to make sure that the regulations in different countries can be served by the platform. Okay, so I'll go quickly through this. This is another code by American Airlines. I want to finish with kind of where's the future? Like, I get asked this a lot, Mario, where are you taking the company, say, 5 years from now? What is GitHub going to take a bet on? And one of the key things for us is, well, if we have these 100 million developers, how about we end up in a place where with AI, we could get to maybe 1 billion? And let me tell you a little bit of why I'm saying that. Like, we do this Octoverse report. And in this Octoverse report, we noticed this, which this one was not that telling, which is in the last year, a lot of you are coding in AI today. And it has been growing astronomically in our platform. But more importantly, this happened. And this took me by surprise. And I don't get surprised often. What this is saying, if you actually go and think about it, this is saying that the language of AI, which right now is Python, by the way, overtook the language of the web, with the web being JavaScript and TypeScript. Like, I did not find them, like 2 years ago, that was going to be a true statement in 2024, as we're going into 2025. That the language of AI has overtaken in such a short amount of time the language of the web. And I think this is actually fundamentally a shift. And you're going to see this shift continue, in my opinion. It's not going to stop there. And you're going to take what we have today of this single model, conversational coding and AI infused, and you're going to start seeing kind of like the next era or the next evolution. That AI native with Workspace, these agents that we're talking about, and multimodal as well. So I believe models will continue to go and advance at a rapid pace. And in order for that to be true then, GitHub needs to play in this game. It needs to play in the models game, and it needs to help you become an AI engineer too. It's not only about you as a developer today, it's also about being an AI engineer. And this is why we introduced GitHub Models. And I just want to show you a demo of that too really quick. And if I switch. Let me go, I think it's Marketplace. Yep. So if you go to our Marketplace and you go to Models, you can choose one of them. So let's choose 4.0. I could go into the playground with it. I'm actually going to compare it. Who do you want me to compare it with? Someone say something. Let's do Llama, for example. Let's do let's do 4.0 with 0.1 preview for a second, and then we'll switch. And then we're going to ask it, can you create a haiku with GitHub, Copilot, and fun? Okay, and then let's see what happens between both of them. Actually, I haven't done this one, so it should be fun. 0.1 is slower, so you can see that is true. It's using its reasoning. So let's see what 4.0 ended up doing. GitHub Copilot, lines of code with ease and fun, coding dreams take flight. That's pretty good. And then this one makes coding easy and fun, ideas come to life. So I did pretty good, but let's do something else really quick. Let's maybe compare with Llama Vision. And maybe let's add in that, nope, not that screenshot. We'll add this. And then we'll ask it, can you please describe the image? This is something that my daughter created. I have a 7 and a 9-year-old. And they use DALL-E on it. So now let's see what happens. So this is pretty cool. You can see how Llama actually provides you a lot more. So what we're doing is not only helping you, again, to create new code, we're going to be going and helping you interact with these models, understand how the models are different, and being able to use different things in them in order to get your applications infused with intelligence. Like the future is 1 billion developers with almost every application that you use infused with intelligence. I'm not going to do more of it, but you could actually do this with Phi and other things. You could even, as an example, if you want to test, like, can you, this I do think I've done before. Can you give me recommendations in France, Paris for my vacation? I think OpenAI says yes, and then I think Llama is, yeah, you can see it over here. I'm not able to provide assistance with that, and OpenAI says yes. So you could even test kind of responsible AI and what is a model allowed to do or not at the same time. So pretty excited about models. We're just getting started with that as well, and hopefully you could play with it very soon. We're gonna doing all of this with extensions. You can see them right there. We talked about Launch Darkly. We're adding once every a week, more or less, and there's more here. Like when I talked about agents and workspace, that's what we want to do. We want to have this extensibility system that travels across VS Code, that travels across .com, in your phone as well, and even in GitHub models. And you could utilize agents from all of these companies to be able to get the work done. So now, to end, what I want to do, as I was telling you, is coding today is still in procedures. If you think about it, it's still in text files, and it's still in sequential programming model. And we want to challenge this. To be able to get to that 1 billion developer, we have to redefine what a developer is. Like, look, I know how to cook, but I'm not a Michelin star chef. I know how to bike. You didn't see me in the Tour de France. So why is it that a professional, like whenever we say developers, it only means that professional? What happens if 10% of the world population can actually become a developer too? And from a Copilot perspective, we want to keep the human in the loop to be able to do that, and we want to infuse it with agents. But we also have to then innovate into what is the new IDE for this new class of developers as well. Let me go and demo that very quickly for you as the last thing. And for that, let me just go to the next slide. We're introducing GitHub Spark, which is an AI-native tool to build applications in natural language. So it's my last demo, and then we'll do Q&A. So my daughter woke up one day, and she's like, Daddy, I want to go and watch TV. She's 9 years old. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to watch TV at 7:30 in the morning. So I'm like, can we go and compromise on something else? And she's like, well, I want to play a game. I'm like, perfect. I'll build you a game then. And I'll make it instructional. Is that a deal? And then if you get to 50 points, then you can do whatever you want. That's what I told her. And she's like, deal. So what we ended up doing was coming in here. And you can see here this, we also created games for poker and other things. I'm trying to teach her probability. I think it's a very good from child to understand what probability is. And where is the math game? Help me out. 4th grade math game. So what I ended up doing was just typing really quick. And you could play this with me. So This is 60, right? If we get it right. Perfect. That's what, 20? So this is the game. Whoops. 20. This is what we created. And she got to 50 overall. But if I go back in here, what you're going to see is, and if I go to the history, this is how many attempts it took me to create that game. So the first thing that I said was a fun and delightful math game for my daughter who is in the 4th grade, make it a grade appropriate and a bit challenging. From there, I accepted a set of things. Hey, nothing is being rendered, can you just fix then I accepted it, I edited the script a couple of times, and then we get to this overall. But I just started with a natural language. I could have done this too. And if I go back into any of these other games, as an example, I did one for Minesweeper. And let's see how good we are. Are we going to die? Yeah, we died. OK. So as an example, well, that's a lot of them. So we did this as well. And if I go into it again, and you could see where the history was, this one didn't take me that much. Create a Minesweeper game for a 7-year-old and make it joyful. You're a designer, so please style this amazingly. I accepted a variant, and at the end, started in a Halloween theme instead of stars with pumpkins overall. So this is a new way of creating delightful things that didn't exist before. I did one for coffee and measuring. I'm doing a lot more of them to teach my daughters different set of things, like playing blackjack and probability, while also kind of little games. And by the way, my 9-year-old got to 50. It was already then 8 a.m., and she decided, or 8:30 or so, and she decided to go outside and play with friends. And that's what it's all about for me. For me, it's being able to take what we have right now and make it accessible to 1 billion people and try to see what their creativity provides. So with that, I want to thank you. I'll have to go back into the slide, and we could actually go ahead and take questions. So thank you so much for everything.